guys, welcome to A Little Bit Monica. I am so freaking excited for this month's TBR because I have a brand new TBR game that I cannot wait to show you. I have to give a quick shout out to Melanie Reed's Patreon Discord for helping me pick this idea for my TBR game. It was kind of thrown out there as like a joke and then I ran with it and I actually love how this turned out. Now I'm not going to do my TBR game just yet. That is going to happen after I go over a couple of other books that need to go on my TBR regardless of how they end up in the game. So I want to start there, but stay tuned because this TBR game is going to be so fun. I am so excited to be introducing this and to be able to use it every month going forward is just so much fun. So anyway, let's get to some of the books that I want to talk about before I do my game. And first off, I want to start with my Discord that has a Stephen King book club. We have a different Stephen King book that I pick every single month for us to read together and chat about it in the Discord. And the book for April is going to be Carrie. Now this book, I at least know the story of, and I feel like the last couple months, the books have been ones that I just genuinely had no idea what I was getting into. And now I'm excited to have one that I at least know the story, even though I haven't read the book yet. I watched the movie at a very, very young age. Most people would probably say too young. I remember being scarred because my sister made me watch this with her and I was terrified, especially the ending. But anyway, I'm excited to finally be able to read the book. I think it's going to be a really great time. It's also so much shorter than literally any of the other books that we've been reading from Stephen King. So I'm excited to add this one on. If you do like reading Stephen King and you want to join the Discord, I would be happy to have you there. We just have a really good time talking about books. We talk about other things too, romance, romantasy, read-alongs of different things like that. So make sure that if you like Stephen King, you want to follow along and you want to read Carrie with us, you join there. And then we do have a layout of like the rest of the books for the year and just the schedule that we plan to read for each month. So if you want to join us, I would love to have you over there for that. And next up is my highlight on the NetGalley arcs that I need to read. Now, for the last number of months, I have been trying to keep up with and mostly been succeeding at keeping up with my NetGalley arcs as they are coming out because I hate getting behind and I hate not reading a book before its official release. So in order to keep those kind of rolling as I go, I have been making it my goal to read any books that come out in 1 month to be reading them in the month before. So for my April TBR, I will be having all of the books that are going to be released in May that I currently have on my NetGalley list. So I want to go over those because there's like 5 of them that I really need to get through and it's a lot on top of some of the other books that I wanted to read. So let's get into my NetGalley arcs that I will be reading for April. This first one actually technically came out in February, but I didn't get the ALC until a couple weeks ago and it archives really soon. So I do want to be able to get to this one and it is The Rhino Keeper by Gillian Forsberg. This one seems like it's going to be very outside of my comfort zone. It's got more of like a historical type of Odyssey type of vibe that I don't typically vibe with, but it's called The Rhino Keeper and it's literally about a person's adventure with a rhino, and rhinos are my favorite animal. They have been for many, many years. I'm obsessed with them. Anytime they are brought up, I just love it. So I want to read this book because it's about rhinos and I'm really hoping that it keeps my interest enough because yeah, I've been fighting the slump the last couple weeks and I really don't want this to like dump me into that, but I did get the ebook from Libby. So I have an ebook and I have the audio. So hopefully this is going to go well. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm going to trust the process on this one, but that's the first one. But let's get into the ones that come out in May. First coming out on May 6th is The Thrashers by Julie Soto. I love Julie Soto's romance books. I believe this one is a YA thriller, and I think this is also Julie Soto's thriller debut. So that's very exciting to be trying out, and I can't wait to get to this one. I'm so glad that I was able to snag this. I think it was Read Now when I got it, so now I can't wait to add it to my TBR for this month. The next one up is a horror arc, and this is Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. I've actually had this arc for so long, and I've been meaning to get to it. I think I've put it on a previous TBR, and I just didn't get to it because it was so far in advance, and it wasn't necessarily a priority at the time. But it is a priority now, so I will be adding Aftertaste onto my TBR. I admittedly don't know a whole lot other than it has something to do with food, like a chef of some sort, and I am very excited. I have been also really enjoying some horror reading lately, so I am very happy to have this one on my list. But the last 2 books that I want to talk about for my NetGalley arcs are both romances. The first one is Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. Now, a lot of people know this author because of the fantasy series, The Trial of the Sun Queen. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I haven't read the series, but I am very excited to be trying the romance book. I think this one sounds really interesting, and this one comes out on May 20th. The other romance book is going to be Love and Focus by Lila Lee, and this one comes out on May 27th. These are both Read Now on NetGalley, and I snagged them from Forever as quick as I could because I love Forever's romance books, and I can't wait to try both of these out. So I have both of these romances on my list as well. But now is the moment you've been waiting for. I know you've been eagerly awaiting, but I am so excited that my brand new TBR game is going to be me playing Plinko. I grew up watching The Price is Right literally all the time, and Plinko was always a crowd favorite, and including mine. It was a favorite of mine too. I loved watching them have to guess prices in order to get the tokens that they could drop down the pegboard so that they could try to win prizes at the end. I always thought it was so much fun, and I always wanted to play it for myself, and then I discovered that there is a home board game version of Plinko, and I can just play it myself whenever I want. Now, there are actual instructions if you wanted to play this game as its own board game, which you absolutely can do. I decided to turn it into a TBR game though. So I took the game board where you basically just have 1 through 7, and I put a different prompt card on each space. So that way, when I dropped the token, whatever it landed on, it corresponded to a prompt card, which would prompt me to pick a book for it. So that's how this is going to go. I am so excited to play this game. I have been looking forward to this since it arrived at my house. This has just been so exciting. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the game set up and then start playing. First, we will do the drop that will determine how many books I have to read from my TBR game for this month. So let's do the first drop. 4. Solid. Now, I did forget to mention, but the cards that I'm using for my prompts right now are the Illumicrate reading prompt cards. These came in a random Illumicrate box last year, and they've been sitting on my shelf unused for so long, and I've been trying to figure out, like, when can I use these? When will I put these to good use? And this is the perfect time because the spots on the board are the perfect size for a playing card, and these are exactly what this is used for. So I'm very excited to be using these. I don't know how long I'll keep these. I will probably try to make my own prompt cards at some point, but also this game allows me to be a little bit more flexible. I can have people send me prompts themselves. I can have people send me books. I don't have to use prompts every time. I can literally just put 7 books as options and then drop the token. So this is very flexible. I can use it in a lot of different ways, which I'm really excited to try out over time. But for now, these are the cards that I am using in the game. Next, we will put down some prompt cards. I have a stack of cards here that I'm just going to pull from. Number 1 is a book with a 1-word title. Next is a book with dragons. Next is an urban fantasy book. Next is a romantasy book. I feel like these prompts are actually going to be so fun. A book you bought for the cover. A book that is a sequel to one you have read before. Or a book with witches. So now that I've selected all 7, it's time to do the first drop to determine which number I need to pick a book for. Number 4 is a romantasy book. And now we have my first pick, which I am so excited for. This is just crazy to think that I finally have a TBR game after so long of trying to come up with one. But for the first card, I ended up getting a romantasy book. And this is honestly pretty easy because I've been very much in my romantasy era lately. And the book that I chose is The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Amelie Wenzhou. And this book I am really excited for because it is a Fairy Loot exclusive, and I've been trying to read through all of my special editions. That's another one of my goals for this year, is to read through my special editions and not just let them sit on my shelf. I also have the audiobook from Libby already, so I know that I have a plan to be reading this in the next couple of weeks, and this just helps that I can read this for one of my prompts. So I am going to go ahead and put my romantasy prompt with The Scorpion and the Night Blossom. I have absolutely no idea what this book is about though. No clue. I know it's a romantasy, that's all I got. But it is time to go back and pick my second book for this month. Now, before I do my next drop, I need to pick a new card for the missing prompt. So to fill in that gap, we have a book that is the first in a series. That goes well because I also have a prompt for a sequel. So let's see what the next drop is going to do. 4 again. Maybe I need to check and make sure this is balanced, because a book that is the first in a series, my brand new prompt, and it's already gone. Book number 2 is a book that is the first in a series. Now, I have so many options that I could pick for this. There's a lot of books on my shelf that I have like multiple in a series and have yet to start, but there's one in particular that I actually only have book 1 in the series, but I'm planning on buddy reading it with my friend Michelle. So I will be reading A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark this month, and I am so excited for this. This is book book one in a series, and this is the only one I have, which is kind of impressive for me because I have this tendency to like just collect the books in a series without having read any of the books in the series yet. So I'm actually proud of myself for only having this first one. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one down, and we're gonna go for my third book pick. Once again, we have to replace the card that I picked the last time. So the new card will be a book set in space. So this feels very different toned from some of the other cards that I have. Let's go ahead and drop and see if I can get anything other than a 4. A 3. The card is an urban fantasy book. Okay, honestly, this one was a little bit harder to figure out. The third one I got is an urban fantasy book, and I'm just really terrible at deciding when a book counts as urban fantasy. So this one took a little bit of, thought trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. But I decided to pick Hamajang Luck by Makana Yamamoto. This is another special edition. This one's from Illumicrate, and again, I'm trying to read through my special editions, so this works out perfectly for me. And this one feels very urban, maybe not from the setting, but definitely from the plot. This is very heist-centric, and it feels very technological. A lot of the imagery in the front pages seems very technological, and it just feels kind of like advanced. I honestly don't know a whole lot about the intricacies of what this plot is going to be, but from what I understand, it is a character who was involved in crime at some point, maybe gets arrested and then gets out and is brought back into the crime world and ends up joining kind of like a found family kind of group that are going to go on a heist together. And I love this idea. I love this concept. Like, the heist plotline is so much fun. So I'm really excited to try this one out. And because I believe it's going to count for urban fantasy, and if I'm wrong, don't yell at me. I'm still going to try to read it anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and put urban fantasy with this book and hope that I'm right about the vibe. But anyway, let's get into the fourth and final pick for my Plinko TBR game for this month. And for the final time, a new card to put down into play is a book with a magical school or college. And we will drop, let's do from right here. Number 6 is a book that is a sequel to one you have read before. Well, this could work well if I end up reading the sequel to the first book that I picked before. So there we have it, my 4 books with my brand new Plinko TBR game. All right, this last one was for a book that is a sequel to one I've already read. Now, I could go easy and just pick the sequel to A Court This Cruel and Lovely because I already plan on reading that one, but I am going to focus on some new releases for this one. There are a couple of books that I have pre-ordered that I'm very excited are coming out in April, and I want to be reading them pretty much right away when they come out. 1, to avoid spoilers, and 2, because I'm just freaking excited that they're coming out. So I'm going to attach this to not 1, but 2 books that I plan on reading when they come out. The first one is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the 3rd book in the series, Powerless, Reckless, and now Fearless, and I'm really excited. I've read Reckless right when it came out, and I plan to read Fearless basically as soon as it comes out too. So this one's gonna work really well for that book. It's just not here and physically in my hands to hold it. So anyway, that's the first one. The second one is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the 4th book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I read all 3 in one day back for the Gala of Peace in Realmathon in March, and freaking loved them. Obsessed. Obviously, the fact that I was able to read all 3 of them in one day means I had a very easy time picking it up and never putting it down until I was done. So I'm very excited for Wild and Wrangled to come out because I love this series. It's kind of like the ranchy cowboy romance vibe. Super fun, and I love the writing in this. It's just very natural, easy, and very fun. So I'm very excited for both of these, and because they are sequels to other books, I can count both of them for this new prompt. So I'm very excited for that. But there's also one more new release that I do have pre-ordered, and I do want to point out I'm gonna add this onto my TBR. We're gonna hope that I can get to it this month. But the problem is that, like I mentioned before, I have this problem where I like to pre-order or get sequels to books when I haven't actually read the book that comes before it. So that's the case with this one. The new book that's coming out in April is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and the first book is Phantasma. I haven't read Phantasma yet, and I know people yell at me all the time when they find out that I haven't read this because it sounds like it's something that's perfect for me, and I believe that it is. I just haven't read it yet, and I can't explain why. So anyway, I'm adding this to my April TBR as well, just so that I can read Enchantra when it comes out. I want to know what all the hype is about this book. I want to know how much I'm going to love it after so many good reviews from people that I know and trust when it comes to like knowing my taste in books as well. That's the books that I am adding onto my April TBR. It is very ambitious. Like, it's a crazy ambitious TBR, and I'm a little bit nervous to have so many on the list. But it's fine because I had a fantastic reading month in March, and I cannot wait to try to at least get a good portion in April as well. I'm really excited for the end of the month because I have a reading retreat coming up with some local book friends that we are going away to literally just do nothing but read and talk about books. And so I'm hoping that I can take some of these books with me and get those through as well. That'll definitely help me get through my TBR a little bit easier. So it's okay that I have way more books on my TBR than I should because I'm also a mood reader and I know I'm gonna divert from the plan. But for now, this is the plan and I'm really excited for it. But I also really hope that you guys had fun with this TBR. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Plinko. This is now my new baby. Like, I'm so excited. I have always loved The Price is Right. This is on brand for me and it's such a fun game and I cannot wait to keep playing it every single month. But also I can use this in the middle of the month. I could use this for a weekly reading vlog and just decide what books I'm gonna read that week. So I can't wait to put this into practice a little bit more. But for now, thank you so much for watching this. For those of you who helped me decide on my TBR game, thank you for your input. I am so appreciative that I have this now and I am hoping that you are loving this as much as I am. And if you want to keep up with my TBRs of the future, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up with all of my future videos. And I have plenty of reading vlogs that are coming as I am continuing to dive back into vlogging and just really enjoying talking about the books as I'm going through them. So I would love to have you along with me. But for now, I am so happy that you were here for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts on the books that I've picked. I would love to hear if you have read them already. Please encourage me and help me feel hyped to be reading them. If you haven't read them yet but you're interested, I would also love to hear that. I want to thank you so much for being here, for watching this video. Every moment that you spend here means the world to me. So thank you for being here and I really hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!